Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here tonight to talk about some NBA. I went over some of the news over the last few days I've missed. Been more focused on covering the MLB free agency, stuff like that. If you haven't watched my MLB news from today and my NFL preview for Week 14, go watch that. But I wanted to talk about some news. So the first thing I want to talk about is a report. Chicago looms as a team to watch as reports surface that Lakers want an all-star for first-round picks. So this is a report, and this is a report we've really heard the last few days. I just don't know what the Lakers will do at this point. Like, LaVine to LA could happen. I think he'd thrive in that Lakers offense. The Lakers fans actually think the Bulls though want their picks in 2027, 2029, because I don't think those picks will be valuable. And if it's not Zach LaVine, maybe even Alex Caruso, I don't think Lakers fans will not want no other players in that team, because you already got Anthony Davis at center. You don't need Nikola Vucevic. And I think DeRozan, I don't know if he'd fit that Lakers team very well. I mean, sure, he can slash the paint, but you need shooters. Some people that can shoot the basketball. So, but the Lakers will not use their first-round picks in 2027, 2029 in trades unless they're getting an all-star type player. Pretty much is what it's talking about. So next thing I'm talking about is the Knicks and Cam Reddish's representatives are working towards a trade. So, as you know, Cam Reddish has been getting really inconsistent minutes. I'll talk about more of that in a little bit, about him being out of the rotation. And I thought he'd be really good coming out of Duke, like a very valuable starter. And I couldn't have been more wrong so far. Like, what's the issue? I just don't know what the issue is. His career's been plagued with injuries and won't accept a smaller role when he's healthy. But I mean, who's better on the freaking Knicks right now? Like Emmanuel Quickley? Maybe? Like, you literally have two wings in your entire rotation, and the issue is they can't find a role for him. And what was the point of trading for him in the first place? Do the Knicks even know what they're doing? And if they did, they would not have signed Fournier to a $73 million contract. And they say they can't find a role. You have two wings. I just don't get the Knicks, man. Like, how in the hell is Tim Thibodeau win a Coach of the Year a few years ago? So stupid. Next thing we're talking about is an Eastern Conference executive blast Duncan Robinson. In quote, he has the worst contract in the league. So, yeah, remember Duncan Robinson got that big contract a few years ago, $90 million, and after that he kind of just disappeared, unplayable in the playoffs because he was bad defensively. He's only a shooter. He hasn't had the best season so far like the last few years. The team made him available in trade talks, but I don't think people will want him. You just can't understand what type of player he's become since him signing his big 5-year deal. It's sad to say it, but he's by far the worst contract, probably the franchise, and maybe in the NBA. I feel like he's Chandler Parsons, but without the looks, if that makes sense. And maybe overpaid for a guy who can only shoot threes, but he's only shooting 31% from three. But you can use the argument, how do you expect him to get on Trent when you play him 20 minutes and you don't play, then you play 3 minutes and 30, then 2, then don't play. Like, you can use that argument, but come on. The two teams most persistent about acquiring Jakob Poeltl are the Toronto Raptors and the Golden State Warriors. So obviously, bless me. And the Golden State Warriors are in the mix per SpursTalk.com. So obviously, you know the Warriors would probably be one of the teams most like persistent in talks with like Jakob Poeltl, because they could use a pretty good center. Because I just don't know about James Wiseman at this point. So I feel like they're gonna try and go after Jakob Poeltl because he's a really good underrated passer as well, underrated player in general. In my opinion, so I think it would definitely be a great move for the Warriors to go and try and get him. It could be maybe a start over Looney, and Looney can come in as the backup center, maybe. The Knicks are willing to attach Emmanuel Quickley or Cam Reddish to Evan Fournier to make a trade work. If it's me, if you're not going to use Cam Reddish because you don't have a role for him, even though that's just an excuse. I mean, they only have 2 wings. Like, they could use Cam Reddish. If they're going to trade one of these players, I guess you do Cam Reddish. Since you got him out of the rotation anyways, I think he could be a promising player because under Tom Thibodeau, he held Andrew Wiggins back, in my opinion. And you saw how when he got traded a few years later, I knew Andrew Wiggins had potential. He could be great. It just took going to the right team. So, and a good system with a good coach. And Tom Thibodeau's not a bad coach. It's just he holds players back. Like, he held Andrew Wiggins back, Cam Reddish now. So, I think there'll be a trade. Cameron's probably get traded. For 82 games, it's no way they can play at this level. The usage is way too high. No one can. The things that we asked him to do on the offensive end and then asked him to defend the other end, it's a lot. Jason Kidd and Luka Doncic. Yeah, I can understand this because, like, you ask him to do so much in the offensive end, and on the defensive end, he's probably so tired because of his teammates aren't the best offensively. So, I mean, I get that, but you gotta be able to defend. Cam Reddish is expected to remain out of the next rotation. So, yeah, we talked pretty much as I was talking about. They're expected to keep him out of the rotation. I don't know why they're keeping him out of the rotation. He's not injured. He's like one of their only wings they have, and they say they don't have a role, which I think is just an excuse to not play him. In my opinion, but whatever. The NBA plans to hand out a trophy to the team with the best regular season record. So now they're handing out a trophy to the best record in the regular season. Suns might actually win a trophy. Kyle Kuzma expected to command in excess of $20 million to $25 million per year on a no deal next summer. So, through the first chapter of his career with the Lakers, he was seen as good, but not like a great NBA player. In the last few years for the Lakers, he wasn't too great. But as soon as he left the Lakers, he was really good for the Wizards last season and so far this season. So I could definitely see him getting $20 to $25 million per year. With the Wizards, I don't know. I feel like he could go to a better team. In my opinion, I think he'll go to a different team, though. And the Hawks and the Suns are among teams that are expected to express interest in Kuzma, which I think would be a great move for the Suns to add Kuzma. You can have him to the small forward spot or the power forward spot, because he can create his own shot. I think it'd be a good move for each one of those teams. Donovan Mitchell can't stop expressing love for the Cavs. I don't think I've been happier since I've been in the league. So, definitely a great addition to that Cavs team. Best free throw shooters in the clutch, a minimum of 10 free throw attempts. He had Bam Adebayo at 100%, so he's not missed a free throw in the clutch. Uh, then you got Anthony Simons, DeRozan, Mitchell, Alexander, Butler, Brunson, Anunoby, Bain, and Trae Young. And Curry isn't up here because he doesn't get calls. And he plays less minutes than these guys. Now the Washington Wizards, a few days ago, were 1-6 in the last 7 games. Bradley Beal probably regretting signing that contract. The 3-point leaders, in order here: Brogdon, Lee, Damian Lee, Sam Hauser, Brandon Ingram, Al Horford, Kelly Olynyk, Corey Kispert, Jeremy Grant, KCP, Josh Green, and Grant Williams. And four Celtics are shooting like 45% from 3. That's crazy. Celtics have like 3 players shooting over 45% from 3. Jordan Poole says teams are guarding him like Steph Curry. How people are guarding Steph in the first unit is how they're guarding me in the second unit. When we're not on the court together, I get the same coverage as he gets, and he really does. Like, he gets a lot of coverage. They throw a lot of people at him. That's why he sometimes doesn't shoot as much, is because they're throwing double teams at him to get the ball out of his hands, and he really does get the same coverage. Jimmy Butler, when asked what's ahead for Miami Heat, a championship. I don't think a championship's going to be ahead. I just don't see him being able to have enough firepower. But I'm not going to doubt the Heat, though. It's not good to doubt the Heat. Wembanyama over his last 4 games: 32, 10, and 4, 30, 15, and 2, 39 and 5, 33, 12, and 3. He's going to be possibly the greatest NBA prospect in draft history. 30 plus points in his last 4 games, and he's shooting pretty good efficiency as well. And lastly, I want to talk about Steph Curry's full court video a few days ago on December 4th. Apparently wasn't real. It looked real to me because it seemed like Steph Curry would be able to do that, 5 straight full court shots. Apparently it wasn't real, so. Give them all safe as next to Michael Hyatt. Peace.